Welcome back to Trader UK, the money management channel. Today I'm back with another market update as we have a single piece of news that is driving all of the markets crazy and all of the markets upwards. Today is going to be a very short video as I'm currently in the middle of making some new content. I'm actually going to give you a full portfolio update in a couple of days time, so keep an eye out for that one. But first we need to look at this single piece of news and where this is creating some value. There's a couple of positions that I've opened today, so I'm going to share those with you as we have a short window of opportunity. Before we do get going, as always, if you could like the video for me and of course subscribe if you haven't already for more similar content. Now, first of all, let's bring up on screen the piece of news that I'm referring to. I'm sure if you are investing at all, then you're probably aware of this by now, unless you're hidden under a rock. Not the election at the top here, although I'm happy with the outcome of that, and I'm sure lots of you are as well. The piece of news below, milestone vaccine offers 90% COVID protection. So let's have a quick read through this first of all, but this is the piece of news that's driving the market upwards. And it says, the first effective coronavirus vaccine can prevent more than 90% of people from getting COVID-19, a preliminary analysis shows. The developers, Pfizer, described it as a great day for science and humanity. Their vaccine has been tested on 43,500 people in 6 countries, and no safety concerns have been raised. The companies plan to apply for emergency approval to use the vaccine by the end of the month, this month, November. There are still huge challenges ahead, but the announcement has been warmly welcomed by scientists, describing themselves smiling ear to ear and suggesting life could be back to normal by spring. That's a big change. Even Dr. Fauci was saying he expects things to continue in the way they are until possibly the end of 2021 and into 2022, which was a bit of a shock. Now, that's a big change. This spring is obviously a lot better news for the markets. Now, a couple of other key things in here. It says here that it's 2 doses, 3 weeks apart. That's what's needed. The trials have taken place in the US, Germany, Brazil, Argentina, South Africa and Turkey, and they show a 90% protection is achieved 7 days after the second dose. So Pfizer believes it will be able to supply 50 million doses by the end of the year. 2 doses, that's enough to vaccinate only 25 million people, and around 1.3 billion by the end of 2021. So again, 650 million people can be vaccinated from this vaccine alone. That's not a big percentage of the world population. And the other key thing in here, there are logistical challenges. The vaccine has to be kept in ultra cold storage at below -80 Celsius. So essentially we have news that vaccines are effective, and not only that, but they're on their way by the end of the year, which is very good news, albeit in small amounts. But we can expect the first doses to probably be going to frontline workers and vulnerable people by the end of the year if they get the approval by the end of this month. Now, let's take a look at the major markets and see how they've reacted to this piece of news. The UK FTSE 100, nearly 5% up. European market, nearly 7% up. S&P 500, 3.5%. The Nasdaq not performing as well, 1.5%, as you would expect. Tech companies probably perform better if there are lockdowns and when we're having these issues. German market, 5.8%. All of the markets, Spanish, 8.95% up. Massive news. Huge swings in the market. And now let's go and take a look at the winners and losers from this. So I'm just going to move into my favourites list. I've got a bit of a mix of companies in here. First of all, let's take a look at the biggest winners here. So on screen at the top, you can see Rolls-Royce, 92% up. Carnival Cruise Lines, 38% up. Jet2, another travel company, 32%. Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean, 31%. TUI, a big holding of mine, 22%. Weatherspoons, hospitality they are. Greggs, food and drink, again, hospitality related to. UK housing builders, nearly 20% up. That's really strange. I'm not sure why they're affected. It's mainly the travel industry and the hospitality industry that are obviously performing well on the back of this news. So if you are holding any travel and hospitality stocks, you're probably very happy today, probably very well in the green. And they're obviously hoping that this is going to put an end to quarantine measures and bans on international travel and hopefully get things moving again. And then on the other end of the market, it seems to be more of the tech companies. Ignore the top one. I'm going to come back to this in a second, Norwegian Air. Below that, you can see Ocado, one of my favourites, one of my biggest positions. 12% down today. Not great news for my portfolio, but the movement in the travel sector is clearly outweighing that at the moment. You've also got Upwork in here, Pinterest, Boohoo, companies that have traditionally done well under lockdown circumstances. Now, normally I don't like buying on these big green days, but as you can see, we do have a couple of big losers today, and I've actually opened positions in the two biggest losers we have here, Ocado and Norwegian Air Shuttle. First of all, let's look at Ocado. This is already one of the biggest positions in my portfolio, and I'm going to give you that portfolio update tomorrow or the following day, so keep an eye out for that one. But I'm happy to increase my position here. Any drop in Ocado, I would have picked up more shares, but an 11-12% fall. This is a great opportunity to buy into Ocado. In particular, if you see this drop down towards the £20 per share mark, currently £22.80, then I would definitely be buying in. Ocado as a company have already confirmed to us their new partnership with Marks & Spencer's, which is going to be huge for them over the Christmas period. They're going to have massive earnings. Get ready for record earnings from this company. And they've also told us that the changing consumer trends is a permanent change. The customers that they attracted during the first lockdown, they didn't lose them when things reopened. So this is not actually bad news for Ocado, I wouldn't say. I would still expect them to have record earnings in their next earnings report. And then Norwegian Airlines. Somebody actually mentioned this company to me in the comments, and I gave my thoughts on them. I said they've got a bit of an uphill battle, but they've already had government funding, so they might make it through. There was a news article on them today. Let me just find it. Norwegian Air faces very uncertain future. Struggling airline Norwegian Air faces a battle for survival after the Norwegian government said it would not provide further backing. Extra loan guarantees would be too risky and not defensible, the country's government have said. So they can't get any more backing from the government, so they're in big trouble. And it goes on in this article to say that they expect their cash to run out in the first quarter of 2021. So they are a very big bankruptcy risk. However, today's silver bullet of a vaccine does say that there's a potential chance that they may be able to get things back to some kind of normality before spring. So Norwegian Air is kind of on a cliff edge at the moment. They might make it through to the spring where international travel may recover and their future would look a little bit more certain at that point, or they may go under in the first quarter of 2021. We'll have to see. So it's an all or nothing position that I've opened there. It's a very small position. It's around £100 or £200 worth of shares, but this company is, or was at one point, 99% down year to date. So obviously the return there, if they do survive, is very big, and I'm happy to take the risk of a couple of £100 on this one. Now, what we might expect to see over the next couple of days if this continues is money moving out of safe havens, maybe away from gold, maybe away from Bitcoin is being used as a good store of value at the moment. You might see the price of Bitcoin reducing down, and tech companies as well. A lot of money is going to shift back towards these companies, back towards travel and hospitality. So keep an eye on that movement there. That is everything for today, guys. Let me know in the comments your biggest movers of today, where you've made the most money. In particular, if you are holding any travel stocks, I'd be interested to know. And also let me know what you think of Norwegian Air. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.